Chair, General, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm good afternoon. To the organizers, also a warm thank you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to speak in front of all of you. So the task given today is under the headline Defense Production, Self-Reliance and Beyond. And I would carry on where Mr. Reddy was saying that he would focusing on the later two. What we want to achieve, and I'm saying we in this room, even though I'm one of the guys representing the foreign evil. We in this room, we want to achieve growth. We want to turn this country from a situation where there's 70% import to become a net exporter of defense material. And do I believe that's possible? Yes, I think so. Many speakers before me have spoken about the capabilities that are existing among MSMEs, defense PSUs, and I mean basically within the whole country, academia. Everything is here. And I think to a large extent also, from now on, we also have the full backing of the current government. They're giving us the toolbox to do this. So what's missing? I'm not going to go into the processes and details because there are speakers before me who know this a lot better than I do. But I think what we need to achieve is a change in mindset. And if the secretary had remained here, I would have actually asked him or suggested quite a bold suggestion. I would say, why don't change the name of his department? Why call it defense production? Change it to defense industry. Because there is a huge difference. And I think this is where one of the issues are. Why isn't it happening? It's because we're back in the good old 50s, 60s with production unit 1B, C, you have the central design authority. Yes, that's to a large extent, it's a working system. But in the modern environment and where India wants to go today, look at HL, for instance. With Mr. Tyagis, and I must say all honor to you, and in regards, if I put the helicopter program that they have launched, is that a production program? No. They have developed, and yes, now they're entering into production. Defense industry is, I would say, more than 50% anything else than production. So why do we keep on talking about production, production, production? Yes, production will come one day when you have developed your product and you have developed your market and you have been able to sell your product, then you can produce it. But it's out here. Not here. So I think and if I look at HL today, I don't see HL as a production agency. I see HL as an aerospace industry in India, fully capable of having, all the R&D resources necessary to sustain their presence here. Because that's another word, sustainability. And if I, for instance, go into the offset part, Colonel Kumer, a very warm topic from your side. And I think, yes, the process is there. And I can argue about bits and pieces about what I like about it. But what I'm missing with the offset policy is the requirement on the receiver end. There's a whole Bible of requirements on the giving end. But the receiver, because if you look at what's happening today, if you are a receiver of an offset. Let's say that I'm discharging production of 100 cc boards to company X. So company X invests 80% to be able to just make it to produce these 100 cc boards, because naturally this company want to earn their money. After they've done this 100 cc board, what happens? Then they're back to square one. Is that sustainability? No, it's not. What should have happened is that the company X invested 120% with a long-term business plan how to become India's biggest electronic manufacturer in 10 years. And I think that should be written in the offset policy that anyone who receives offset should be able to actually present a long-term business plan, how this company is supposed to sustain this technology, this production, or whatever it is. Then you're creating a sustainable industrial society, because that's the only way to do it. And yes, if we remove 5% or 3% or maximum 7% of the whole defense industrial complex, the defense industry is no different to any IT or auto industries, etc. You have to be competitive. We, as a company, SAAB, we are investing 30% of our turnover into R&D on a yearly basis. 30%. That's required to be competitive on the international market. That's the reality for all the companies here, all the companies in India, MSMEs, large ones, big ones, small ones. Because 50% of what you do should be R&D or R&D related. The other 50% might be production. So if you only think production, if you only think in those terms, then you will not be sustainable. Before ending, I would like to make another suggestion. We talk about transfer of technology. That you hear that everywhere. And yes, I hear myself saying that 100 times a day. We're offering full technology transfer. What I love to say is that we are offering transfer of capability, not technology. What are you going to use the technology for if you don't have the capability? And I think that's another thing which actually is going wrong here. Transfer of capabilities, not technologies. When we talk about technology transfer and we get our requirements on RFPs, etc., from the government or from our customers, we get a list with an Excel sheet like this with 100 different, it says different technologies. It's cables, it's this, it's that, da. That's not capability. It should say, whatever I do, if I invest in India, I should be able to stand up here in front of all of you to say that in 10 years from now, I'm going to turn this aerospace ecosystem into an industry that can export fighters out of India to Asia, to the globe. That's the requirement you should put on me, not whether I transfer a technology for gluing cables. Thank you so much.